Hello, all humans on planet Earth and everyone within the two-party system. My name's Josh Usera, and this is my hashtag duopoly story. I got into politics when I was a kid. I remember, as part of school projects and things like that. In sixth grade specifically, I had to research George Washington and then dress up as him and tell his story. It was part of a thing called Forum of Famous Faces. And so that's probably my first real experience with politics. As I grew up, I always knew politics was around us, but for the most part, was just like everyone else, didn't really see myself getting involved with it. Anytime in the future, I kind of just saw ourselves as being the people who receive whatever happens at the political level. With voting being ultimately our main source of power. So as I got older, first of all, when I was 19, I opened up a business. A lot of my history has to do with martial arts. The business that I opened was a dojo, so I was a sensei, and I did that for about 15 years till about 35. At the same time, I went to school to be a teacher, so I have a teaching degree as well as exercise science management degree. Because I owned a business, I did spend a lot of time as I got older, and eventually I had children. I currently have 3 children. I'm married. As I got older, I just started to see the role that politics and the atmosphere of politics plays on everyone. Granted, sometimes I believe that we make it more than what it is. Other times, the power of people's voices when they speak to the all of us, can have a lot of effect on us, positively or negatively. Anyway, so yeah, it was when I was 35, I had gotten into, trouble, I suppose a few times growing up, but I was no longer able to be a teacher, and I kind of thought to myself, what else can you do, and I realized that even though I had a criminal background, that you could still get involved in politics. So at the age of 35, partly just because I thought it's what every American should do, I ran for president for the first time. Obviously, I did not win in 2016 nor 2020. We'll see what happens in 2024. Anyways, I see it as something that makes our country great. The ability for the people of all levels to get involved in the leadership, the future, the vision, even just the narrative of the country. So it didn't ever really require me to win in order for me to feel successful. In fact, I've already enjoyed a lot of success because of it. Inspiring other people to get involved with things and then see them be successful, that's been great. Being able to have kind of an active voice within my family and friends, people who I'm around on a daily basis, trying to be involved in politics helps me speak with, I guess, less hate. I'm not interested in trying to hate the other side or hate them or they're the bad ones and we're the good ones. It's not so much like that to me. Again, I just think this country's great, so if I can run for president, so should you. So, yeah, when I first ran in 2015, I just basically signed up as a candidate, went through the FEC, not much happened. I did end up, in a book called The Can't-It-Dates, basically kind of making fun of myself as well as a group of us. Each of us had a chapter in the book, but basically saying that, we would never win, So it's kind of what I assumed going into it anyway. Like I said, winning wasn't necessarily the thing that would define it. So, my second run, when I re-registered in what would it have been 2017, right? Re-registered, and that time I started thinking about the party scenario. Growing up in South Dakota, I guess I've always been, in a Republican environment. Whenever we see our state on the map, it's always red and blah blah blah. And that doesn't have to be negative in any way. I'm proud of it. I'm raising my family here in South Dakota. I'm happy to be where I'm at. Over time, growing up, getting to hear the perspective of both parties, and with me being involved in martial arts, it was always bringing me back to kind of the simple concept of yin yang, and how you have these two opposites and neither one can exist without the other one. And the point isn't to try to be one or the other. The point is to have them come together, and that's what yin yang is, a little bit like finding the middle, or a balance of both. My last name is a little unique, and so it is spelled U-S-E-R-A. And so I spent most of my life listening to people say my last name as, user, us, no one really knowing how to pronounce it or say it. It's a Spanish name. There's a district in Madrid, Spain, with the name Ucera. Okay. And so again, my 30s, when I started the whole deal, I started to throw out this thing called the us era. Using my last name again, right? U.S. us era, us era. Also, United States era, right? So this concept could be implying our role and responsibility towards ourselves and humanity as a whole. So us moving forward as a species, and thinking about the things that are good, positive, negative, blah blah blah, future thinking, making sure that our families are still the most valuable aspect of this whole thing. That's kind of the us era. The United States era is being defined on a daily basis, and one way you could look at it as the objects that we leave behind us. I live in Rapid City, South Dakota, about half hour, 45 minutes away from Mount Rushmore, and to some degree you could say that object is a symbol of the U.S. era. And there's much more to it as well. When I think about the future of the United States, if we correlate it to a family, right? In our families, we want to make a life, not take a life, right? And so that is a simple philosophy for me that, I'm surely hoping is not just because, we're humans for the us era, but that also the country that we represent and live in equally values life like someone within our family. So 2017 re-registered, and then I also started just the committee for the campaign and named it the U.S. Era Party. And so in the second election that I participated in, my goal was then to get as many people as possible involved in running for any office at any level. So less attention on getting myself elected, more attention on getting other people involved. Essentially, rather than us always just voting and thinking that is the peak, rather I would encourage people to run, take all the information that you can from both sides. You don't have to exclude yourself necessarily from anything. But I obviously am always encouraging or reminding people that regardless if they're a Republican or a Democrat or Libertarian or whatever the name of the group of people or party that they say they are representing, I try to always remind them that hopefully all of us are still thinking about the United States of America and the future of our great country. So, I guess instead of seeing the U.S. era party being something that is dominant over the other parties, I was more or less presenting it as an ideal for the two parties. That if you have the Democrats or the left, the liberals, they're all on one side, and then the Republicans, the right, the conservative, they're all on the other side. The majority of us are smack dab in the middle, not really one or the other. And so when I see the two dominating institutional parties constantly conflicting with each other and presenting rhetoric that basically exhibits hate for one another, that seems to me not to be what we should be striving for. So when our leaders unite, if we saw all of the representatives vote similarly and we all united, with the same goal, mission, narrative in mind, to me that is when we party. That is the celebration. That is the epitome of our democracy, led by people who are a part of us, we the people, right? So, I'm not so much interested in trying to tell people do not be a Republican or do not be a Democrat. It's not so much like that. More or less just encouraging people to remember the United States. And when we come together, like I said, that's when we should celebrate. That's when we should party. I found out about the two-party system from Billy Ukuwu, also a fellow candidate. Saw some of his stuff online. We started connecting. We've talked a few times. I like where he's coming from. He's unique. He's independent. Seems not to be bought, right? He seems to be just kind of doing this on his own with his own aspiration in mind rather than working for somebody else. So I found out about that from him, and I've been keeping a close eye on it. I know that they've shed some light on, they're getting some movie attention possibly, talking about third parties and just trying to help shed light on all the options that we really do have to vote for, even though it seems like we get told that we only have two options, and then you have to pick one, this one. We really have a lot of options. Our system is set up pretty well, and unfortunately, we probably don't hear those positive things as much, probably because they're less interesting to hear about or watch on the news. If someone's just telling you that, hey, everything's actually going great, so yeah. So again, my name is Josh Usera, aspiring politician. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. A free citizen of the United States of America. Yeah, I'll take that. Just hoping to do right and provide a good example for my children and things like that. So it doesn't have anything to do with me with winning. Just love to see people excited about the future of us. I see humanity as a whole kind of starting out as a struggle, and as we move forward in time, every second basically is better than the second before. And so I'm just trying to remind everyone that we have a lot to feel good about, and much less to fear than what we ever have had to in the past. And so let's celebrate us. Let's enjoy us. Let's be happy. Let's be healthy. And yeah, let's not ruin our future for future generations, right? Okay, so that's the US era. This is the video I presented for Billy Ukuwu and the two-party system. Hashtag duopoly story. Hashtag end the duopoly. And again, I'd like to just shed light that I'm not necessarily saying that the two institutional parties have to go away. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just hoping that people can be good examples, you know, of how to live life. You know, if we expect our children to get along and not be mean to each other, not say mean things to each other, then we as adults, those who have the platform and ability to speak to the masses, we really should be accountable for what we say. So with that, love you guys. Have a great day. Thanks for having me. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. If any of you are interested in getting on board with the US Era Party, feel free to hit me up. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, and yeah, I'd even give you my phone number if you want. All right? Okay, thanks guys. Best of luck. Billy, I hope this is what you're looking for, man. I'll talk to you later.